Todo se torna en tempestad. Dime dónde estás. Que por ti yo iré. Donde tú estés te encontraré. Que con tu amor me basta. Contigo tengo todo. Sin ti yo no tengo nada. Que por ti yo iré. Donde tú estés te encontraré. Que con tu amor me basta. Contigo tengo todo. Sin ti yo no tengo nada.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Ernest Dove, New York Mets Dove Report. A lot of drama, a lot of sadness and stress going on with the Mets, but I'm ready to talk about how and why the future still looks bright, specifically for the pitching, which makes it seem kind of crazy the way I just said it. But I want to get into some of the pitching prospects because there's another wave coming beyond Sproat, McClain, and Tong, who obviously still learning, only 2 AAA starts. I want to talk about some of the other arms, the next wave of arms, what's happening right now in the Met system, and I want to talk about a couple of pitchers who are starting this weekend, one in the playoffs, who might actually be one of those transition to reliever arms, possibly both of them, that could succeed in that role. And I'll talk about maybe some of the circumstances behind it, how they can utilize some of their talents and stuff, and what's going on at the major league level. I guess, you know what, we'll start at the higher levels. Has anyone noticed that extreme small sample size alert? Has anyone noticed that Brandon Sproat and Nolan McClain have lower walk rates in Queens than they did in the minor leagues this year? Maybe that's some of the stuff we need to talk about. I know we heard about it. Somebody found a quote or something in context about McClain talking about maybe something defensively between AAA, minors, and the major leagues. But you know what? The numbers are the numbers. McClain is throwing more strikes. Brandon Sproat is throwing more strikes. Let's see. Jonah Tong is still going through the motions, learning. He's got to be able to throw more than 2 pitches consistently. Maybe that's some of the success right now in the major leagues. You have guys like McClain and Sproat throwing 4, 5, 6 different variations of pitches. That's going to be a key to future success for the Mets. And by the way, isn't it finally time to start crediting guys from the major league pitching staff all the way down through the minors? Because Nolan McClain, minor league reliever, Nolan McClain, 6-pitch mix starting pitcher in the major leagues with a sub-2 ERA to start his first 5 starts. This is what's happening with the Mets player development at this point, and I think more guys are on the way. Now, the guys I want to talk about, they're both starting today. One is starting in the playoffs for Noah Hall in high A. Now, listen, he's been dominating this year with command issues, but we're talking 112.2 innings pitched, which is good for minor leagues. Only 80 hits allowed in 112 innings, 115 strikeouts, so more than 9 per 9. This is something that I want to get into, though. Again, extreme small sample size. It's only for 1 year, 1 season, but I feel it's worth mentioning for both of these pitchers to focus on. Noah Hall this season, ERA by inning. First inning, 2.57. Second inning, 0.83. Third inning, 3.68. Fourth inning, 1.45. Now is when we get into it. Fifth inning ERA this year, 4.26. Sixth inning ERA this year, 9.82. Again, this doesn't have to be the be-all, end-all, but I'm not just talking about pigeonholing a guy based on these sample sizes of 1 year, converting from starter to reliever. I'm also factoring in the names I just mentioned, McClain, Sproat, Tong, and there's other guys on the way that I'm going to talk about as well. So when you have 4, 5, 6, 7 potential starting pitchers for the Mets in the upper minors this year, especially going into next year, if these guys aren't traded, guys need to move to the bullpen. We need a new Max Kranick. We need a new Jose Butto. We need a new Daniel Nunez. We need these guys to come up and take over. We need more than just Brazoban in his mid-30s doing okay sometimes and then losing command in the next. Let's see if a guy like Noah Hall can make that transition. Now I'm going to do the numbers again, also with Will Watson. Again, one of the most talented pitchers that you need to be aware of in the Mets farm system in general. And he's eating a lot of innings as well, 115.2 innings this season. Now again, for minor league purposes and standards, this is a lot of innings. He has over 20 starts this year. When you can break 20 in the minor leagues, that's a strong, healthy season. He only has allowed 86 hits in 115 and two-thirds innings. No one really hits him. By the way, 115 and two-thirds innings, 133 strikeouts. That's over 10 strikeouts per 9. Why am I bringing him up as another option to switch from starter to reliever if he remains in the Mets organization, even with the talent and the numbers I just put? First inning ERA, 1.64. Second inning ERA, 1.17. Here we go. Third inning, 2.91. Fourth inning, 4.15. Fifth inning, 4.40. Sixth inning, 6.35. Again, these are one season of numbers, but I find it a little bit interesting when you go with the ERA jumping, when you go with the high walk rates that he and Noah Hall both have. Maybe there should be a transition process for these arms. They can thrive. When you even see the starters like McClain and Sproat improving their command, maybe it's also about pitch mix, pitch usage. Maybe go this route with Noah Hall and Will Watson. Again, these guys can thrive right now exactly where they are, but rather than sitting here every night seeing them go 4-ish to 5-ish innings, maybe getting into the 6th once in a while throughout the season for them, maybe have them permanently be 1-ish to 3-inning guys, because that's today's Mets baseball around the league as well. We need guys who can eat more than 1 inning. We need the middle relief guys. We need the long man guys. These type of guys are so successful, they could probably step in the major leagues to eat those 2-3 innings like Brazaban just did and be successful at it. Because again, I want some of these guys to transition because the wave is still coming, Mets fans. I know it almost sounds like a joke at this point with the pitching in the major leagues, but now we have McClain and Sproat thriving in their small sample sizes. Tong is only going to get better. If you don't believe it, I don't know what to tell you. He's one of the most talented pitchers in the entire farm system around baseball. But there's another wave coming. And again, you have guys like left-handed pitcher Jonathan Santucci now, who's having a really good year. I've said it multiple times now. He has one of the best fastballs in the Mets system, according to the Mets staff. It's not just me saying it. Mets staff thinks he has an elite fastball, elite slider. He's still working on the changeup. His pitch command, as I've said, it's been better in the minor leagues than it was in college. So he's already improving. Then you got guys like the sleeper guys, in my opinion, like an R.J. Gordon. Then you have, of course, the current AA strikeout leader ever since Jonah Tong got promoted. Jack Wenninger still leads AA in his league, in the Eastern League, in strikeouts this entire season. He eats innings. That's why I see Jack Wenninger as a future starter for sure. Because he's eating the same innings as the guys I mentioned, but he's been showing better command. He's a horse. He can throw the innings. And again, we have other guys that we can talk about all day long. But I think it's finally time for the Mets organization to start stepping up. They need to transition guys sooner to the bullpen. This is not going to work the way it is. You have these guys eating 4, 5-ish innings all the time. The entire Mets farm system right now, they're all seem to be piggybacking each other in the minor leagues. Everyone's eating 40, 50, 60 innings apiece, maybe 70, because they can't go more than 3, 4 innings piggybacking each other. So I'm sure there's reasoning behind it, of course. They're working on their pitches, their assortment of pitches. But as we've seen with the Mets in the small sample sizes of the top pitching prospects, they can use the super analytics either way up to the major league level to show off how they're going to do the usage itself. There's a lot of success coming in the Mets farm system. I'm trying to bring up some of these guys. I hope you continue to watch, support the channel. For me, I want to try to provide even the smallest of information to the biggest of information going forward. Hope you guys continue to support the channel. I'm going to have more information. Be on the lookout for my next minor league weekly report, where I'll break down all the information, what's going on for the entire week. Some of the seasons unfortunately ending, which always ruins my life. There's a little bit more games to go. Shout out to the Brooklyn Cyclones as they begin their playoffs. So at least I get to keep talking about them. I'm out.